if you don't think this stuff is happening in America, so this just came up. There was an ongoing case of freedom of religion in the U.S. The Supreme Court will now hear a case from 2015 over freedom of religious expression. Joe Kennedy was a high school football coach in Bremerton School District who got fired for refusing to stop praying after football games. So after every game, this was his tradition from 2008 when he took over the job to 2015 when he was fired. No issue during that time period. He did this every game. He would drop to a knee and say a quick silent prayer of thanksgiving for player safety, sportsmanship, and spirited competition. Real bad stuff. I can't believe he was doing this. So when the school district ordered him to stop in 2015, he flat out refused. He said, I'm not going to do that. And so they fired him. 2017, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that he took advantage of his position as a public employee. In 2021, the same court again rejected his arguments, now saying his attempts to challenge the school district were drawing national attention, which showed that he was not engaging in private prayer, but publicly speaking in an overtly religious nature while performing his job duties. Okay, so now after declining to take the appeal in 2019, the Supreme Court will hear Kennedy's case. His legal representatives, First Liberties, say his case has wide-ranging implications for practically everything public school teachers do or say during school hours or after school. If allowed to stand, Kennedy's firing could make every form of speech into government speech that the school may prohibit. Government-controlled speech.
Yeah, classrooms, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a coach. The classrooms will be controlled. Think about it. From 2008 to 2015, that's 70 to 80 football games, not counting playoffs.
Right.
That not a word was said about this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And he's not out there making a spectacle of himself. I mean, I've seen video clips. He gets down on a knee, says a quick prayer, thanks God for, nobody was hurt. We had a great competition. Thank you. Yeah. And he's done.
Yeah.
It's not like he's getting on a microphone and leading a worship service at the end of a game. He's just saying a quick prayer, and he got fired for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is why it's super important. This is the run for office speech that you get every once in a while on this. This is why your school board positions are so important to run for, to be a part of, because this obviously was the school board that ordered him not to do this and fired him for doing it. So that's why it's super important to run for offices. Even though they seem minor, they're super important.
Yeah. Yep. So another glaring example, we talked about this, healthcare workers that are being denied religious exemptions to the COVID-19 vaccine. We can dive into this report maybe next week a little deeper, but just to touch on, Biden administration has created a database to track federal employees who have submitted religious exemptions. Wonder what that database is going to be used for.
They'll never use those.
Yeah, never. The Department of Defense has not granted a single religious exemption for any service member.
Crazy.
In December 2020, the Vatican declared that COVID-19 vaccines are, quote, morally acceptable for Catholics to take, even if they have used cell lines from aborted fetuses in their research and production process.
So we're going to cave a little bit on this belief that we have as the Catholic Church that abortion isn't right. We're just going to cave a little bit so that the World Economic Forum Great Reset can move forward. We'll step back just a little bit.
Yeah, it's lovely. And then also we did a show on this, a year ago now. Don't forget about the Equality Act. That was introduced a year ago. Luckily, it didn't pass at the time, but it would have completely eliminated Religious Freedom Restoration Act, created LGBTQ plus protections, entitlements, and public accommodations, safe spaces for women like locker rooms, bathrooms, shelters would not be protected by law, meaning that any man who merely claimed he identified as a woman would by law have to be allowed into those spaces. And also faith-based child welfare organizations would by law be forced to abandon their beliefs that there are two sexes and they cannot be changed, or those places would be shut down.
And there's an after-school Satan club in Illinois.
Yep, that was on Tucker Carlson last week, which, again, these segments catch my attention because I'm like, I'm not hearing about this anywhere else. Yeah. But he's addressing it head on. And it was the co-founder of the Satanic Temple came on the show to discuss, really debate this with Tucker about why an after-school Satan club probably shouldn't be offered. Just saying.
And talking about Tucker and Fox, I mean, look at their ratings compared to CNN and MSNBC and all those other ones. They're skyrocketing because he's highlighting what's really happening, not the narrative of what. Frustrating.
Yeah. So these are just examples of how, religion, God, Christianity, faith is being attacked right here in our own country.
I mean, think about where it began, and I'm sure it began before this, but like the most notable one would be One Nation Under God.
Yeah.
Pledge of Allegiance. And, I remember hearing about that, and then it starts like that. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, you have Satan clubs in every high school or every middle school.
And that's what they're aiming for,
Yeah.
not just Illinois. They want to put them everywhere.
Yep.
And what's interesting is that schools were created in America back when, before the country was even founded. Schools were created so that children could learn how to read the Bible.
Yeah.
They wanted children to be able to read the Bible, to be able to comprehend and understand it and dissect it for themselves, and not just be told about what's in the Bible. They thought that every human being should have the right to be able to read the Bible. That's how school got started.
The Bible was the first textbook
Yes.
in the country.
Yep.
Like, that's what you read. That was your textbook. And that's how you learned how to read. And they took prayer out of schools, and they took the 10 Commandments out of the schools and the courts. And I mean, we're tearing down, not we, but people are tearing down statues all over the country, and all of this craziness because, and it all goes back to, we've taken our eye off of the true north.
Yeah, absolutely. And everything we talk about on this show stems from that.
Yeah.
The craziness in the world, everything that you're dealing with in your life, whether it be this government stuff or just other things in life. I mean, it all stems from that.
Yeah. When you take God out of your life, if you take God out of your marriage, come and see us in 24 months.
Yeah.
When you take God out of your school, come and see us. Because what happens is society degrades instantly. It starts to fall apart. Take God out of your personal walk every day. Choices begin to change.
Yep.
Take, all of that. And that's why it's so important that we meet the Lord. And it's not just about being in his presence. It's great to be in church. I mean, I'm a pastor, of course it's great to be in church, but it's great to be in church. But if you're in his presence without actually meeting him, there's a lot of people that saw Jesus, and they said, "Oh, I saw Jesus do a miracle," but they were still lame. Mm-hmm. It's not just about being in his presence. It's about actually receiving from him and being with him and being in a relationship with him, not just a religious relationship, but a personal relationship with him. And so we see that many people tout that they were with him, but they were never touched by him. And I think that in the church, moving forward, 2022, we're going to see a great revival in the church. I truly believe it. We're going to see a great revival, people coming to know Jesus, not just to be in the concert on Sunday morning, but not just to be in his presence, but to be touched by him, to be changed by him, to be healed, delivered, set free, not even bearing the marks of the world anymore. And that's what I believe is coming in 2022. So in the midst of everything that we just reported on, all the craziness, everything that's just unexplainable other than evil, I think we're going to see a great revival instead of we may see a great reset, but we're going to see a great revival coming from the other direction. The great reset, obviously evil. The great revival coming will be people that meet Jesus, not just be in his presence.